The last game that is closing match day 2 of the Premier League is happening today on Monday. Liverpool is hosting Crystal Palace at Anfield. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now guys, you know that the weekend really came out of the weekend with a 4-0 loss of United at Brighton. Unacceptable. Arsenal winning a side which goes by names of Leicester City by 4-2. Man City winning by 4-0, 4 goals to 0 against Bournemouth. Chelsea and Spurs. It was a heated game of football. You know that very well. That game ended 2-2, a draw that saw the managers red carded and sent off, meaning that in their next games they're really going to be off the touchline. So it has been really a very heated up weekend either for you, but obviously it never gets better before Liverpool plays, because Liverpool is one of those teams that we think are really going to give Man City a chase for the title, because for the previous 2-3 seasons they've shown us that they're in their different caliber. The caliber they are at is totally different from where these other teams are. And obviously, we expect them to go in and do the needful to really go ahead and really put up a battle against the side which goes by Crystal Palace. So, guys, right now, I don't want to really take your time or most of your time. Let me get into this. Let me show you the head-to-head Crystal Palace versus Liverpool and where they've been playing. Now, when you look at these fixtures, they've played 26 Premier League games, 18 wins by Liverpool, 5 by Crystal Palace, 66 goals scored by Liverpool, and 29 goals scored by Crystal Palace in this fixture. 9 clean sheets kept by a side which goes by names of Liverpool. 2 clean sheets kept by a side which goes by the names of Crystal Palace. So when you look at this, it shows you that Liverpool have got really a big edge over them, and I think they're really having an edge to beat them. But remember, the hardest stadium in the Premier League to go on and survive, it's known as Anfield. Anfield is one of those stadiums where you go expecting only a loss, because Liverpool, when was Liverpool last beaten at Anfield? Who can remind me? Liverpool is a team that has taken long without being beaten, I think, at its stadium in the for you. And the worst they can get in a season, out of the 19 games they play in the Premier League, out of the 19 games they host at Anfield in the Premier League, they can only afford a draw. And I think they drew against Man City. I think most of the teams that really went to Anfield lost. That's it. So it shows you how tough that side is. So allow me take you to these stats as given to us by BBC, because you really need to know about them. Joachim Henderson and Mark Gucci, remember these ones are the central defenders of Crystal Palace, passed to each other 61 times last week, the most of any duo in the Premier League on the opening day, and 16 more than the next most, Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk. So they're talking about the game of Arsenal versus Crystal Palace that happened last Friday but won. You know that very well. They lost to Arsenal 2-0. But this central defensive partnership passed to each other 61 times. You get? So we are going to see, can they do the same thing when they're under pressure by the press of Liverpool, because the relentless press of Liverpool goes in there. That is Mohamed Salah, or Darwin Núñez, or Firmino, or Luis Diaz. So we are going to wait and see whether they'll go ahead and do it. But it's a statistic that was registered when they're playing a side which goes by names of Arsenal after that 2-0 loss to Arsenal. So the other stat that I want to let you know about reads, Liverpool haven't lost their home league match in any of the last 18 seasons, winning their last 9 in a row in there for you, 14 wins and 4 draws in there for you. So they've not lost their opening fixture at Anfield, you get, in 18 seasons. So it shows you how Anfield is really going to be a very hard ground to go in and really fetch points there. Obviously, they've made it a ground that when you come there, your mindset is already troubled with thoughts of really losing the game of football. Then Palace lost their last 5 Premier League games in a row at Anfield. So their last 5 games while visiting at Anfield, they've lost them. That is Crystal Palace. So don't expect them to come in here and really put up a show in there for you. The Eagles, that is Crystal Palace, lost their first 2 games in a single Premier League campaign in 2017-2018. So their first games of the Premier League season, the last time they lost 2 of their starting or opening games of the Premier League season was in 2017-2018. Remember their first game they played against Arsenal. They lost 2-0, and this time around they're facing a side which goes by names of Liverpool. And obviously, when you look at the winning percentage, I think Liverpool has like 70%. Though Patrick Vieira is really going on to do the needful and really change everything. They're telling us that since losing 2-1 to Crystal Palace in April 2017, Liverpool have won 10 consecutive Premier League matches against the Eagles. So Liverpool are really edging this fixture. Let no one lie to you. They are the kings of the fixture, and obviously Crystal Palace just needs to sit down and really expect a loss. But never rule out anything in football. Anything in football is possible. Anything in football is possible, because I've seen very many people coming in here and expecting things to happen. You saw what happened to United against Brentford, you get? And people will say, no, that's unusual of Manchester United. But let me tell you, do you know that there is a season that Liverpool thumped 7-2 by Aston Villa? You remember that season? So things can happen, guys. Things can happen. In football, everything is possible. Though you just have to be having a possibility that maybe it won't happen. But don't rule it out totally. That's it. Then Mohamed Salah has been involved in 11 goals in 10 Premier League appearances against Crystal Palace with 7 goals and 4 assists. This man you're talking about, Mohamed Salah, is one of those that has really marked his name into the world football map. I think in the previous 3-4 seasons, he has been really scoring for fun. Having kept his other start of scoring in all the 6 Premier League opening seasons, even in the game they played against Fulham, where they drew 2-2, he scored. He's now going to face Crystal Palace, where he has been involved in 11 goals in 10 matches. You get? So it shows you that if you are to bet on someone who is really going to have to be on the score sheet tomorrow, obviously Mohamed Salah is one of those that is really going to be part of them in the for you. So guys, let's get into the predicted lineup. I think I've shown you the stats. Now you know who has an edge over who as far as the history is concerned. So when you look at the history of this fixture, it always backs Liverpool 100% that they're going to go ahead and really win this game of football. But let's wait and see what is going to happen at Anfield tonight. Remember, this game is going to be played at 22 hours. You know that very well. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Obviously, Liverpool is going to play a system of 4-3-3. That is the system that Jurgen Klopp has been playing with game in, game out versus game in here. Alisson Becker starting in goal. Obviously, to me, one of the best goalkeepers. And one thing that shocked me on Friday was the Ballon d'Or nominations. He was not part of the Ballon d'Or nominations. He was not part of the Ballon d'Or nominations. I ask myself, how can this come to existence? You get? How can it come to happen? Because, trust me, he played the Champions League finale. He played very well. He played in the Premier League. And how come other keepers are there and he's not there for the Golden Glove? So it shocked me, but I really believe that he's going to start into the goalkeeping department of Liverpool. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to play on the right side of the fullback, or the right back. You know him very well. He really floats into those balls going forward. He's very good, but I've always complained of him being suspect behind. You remember that goal that Fulham scored, the first goal that gave them the lead ahead of Liverpool through Mitrovic. Ball crossed in, he couldn't jump, and Mitrovic was right behind him and nodded that ball to the back of the net. So going forward, he's suspect according to me, and that is something that Jurgen Klopp needs to work upon to see to it that this player really gets where he's supposed to be. Then we are having Trent Alexander-Arnold playing as a left back, not Robertson playing as a left back. Obviously, we expect him to start because he's 100% fully fit. Then the shocker is all about Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez is going to play on the right side of the central defense because Konate looks like he's injured. Even Joe Matip, who played in the central defense with Virgil van Dijk, He's injured too, and he never took part into training their last training, I think, on Saturday or Sunday. So it shows you that they are really missing those two, and that means Joe Gomez comes in through exactly. So it shows you the brilliance of this manager, that he knows that Konate and Joel Matip at any time can leave, and he really said, Joe Gomez, you are going nowhere. I need 4 central defenders. Obviously, he's going to be partnering with Virgil van Dijk. Remember, this partnership really played very well. I think, what was that season? He really played very well. Joe Gomez really played very well, and I think he even made it to the England national team. Did he even win the World Cup, if I don't remember very well? But right now, as things stand, he fell down to the pecking order of Liverpool, but the manager gave him a new contract because he was planning to leave Liverpool and go to a team that's going to get him regular football. The manager told him, all right, let me tie you on a long contract and you're going to be playing games of football. So let's wait and see how Jurgen Klopp goes on with this. After, obviously, Fabinho is going to play into the central defensive midfield. That is the single pivot. Obviously, he's fully fit, but remember, Liverpool is experiencing midfield problems with a lot of injuries at Anfield. Then Naby Keita is back. He's going to play on the left shoulder of Fabinho, and Jordan Henderson is going to play on the right shoulder of Fabinho. So that is the midfield 3 of Liverpool. It would have been Thiago Alcantara maybe starting that midfield, but he's out for 6 months. That's why rumors were everywhere that Liverpool wanted to hijack the deal of Tielemans to Arsenal. You get? That's why that deal really came on. But it said the return of Naby Keita and which other player, the manager really believes that they can really take him through this period of time, because he knows that there is a break from 18th, I think from 1st November to like 23rd December, meaning that there is a break of 1 month, and that will facilitate him to see to it that he really tries to use these players sparingly and then find a midfielder in January if at all Thiago Alcantara doesn't return in time. So that is the midfield 3 of Liverpool that is going to play against Crystal Palace. Then there is Diaz. He's going to play on the left side. He's going to play as a left forward in this system. Then Mohamed Salah is going to play as a right forward. And obviously, Darwin Núñez is expected to start into that game of football against Crystal Palace tonight. Remember, Darwin Núñez came on, scored 1 goal and put up 1 assist for Mohamed Salah. And Mohamed Salah did the same, scored 1 goal and put up an assist for Darwin Núñez. For Darwin Núñez to draw against Fulham. Diaz is really one of those players that stats are really favoring him, but the goals have not yet come in through. But I know he's really going to hit the ground running. Remember, he came in January and hit the ground running immediately. That is my predicted lineup of Liverpool. I don't know who do you think is going to be in and who's going to be out, but obviously that is my predicted lineup of a side which goes by names of Liverpool. Let me show you. This is how I believe Crystal Palace is going to start. I think they're only going to make 1 change, because this guy missed lots of chances when they are playing a side which goes by names of Arsenal. That is Eduardo. You know Eduardo very well. He played against Arsenal and he missed a chance. So I really believe that Mateta might be one of those people to come in and really start. Reason, Mateta can really bowl that central defense of a side which goes by the names of Liverpool, because the absentia of Konate really leaves a lot of open space into that central defense of a side which goes by the names of Crystal Palace. Because when you look at how those things are really going in through, I really believe that Eduardo is the only player whom I'm doubtful. You get? Eduardo, I think Mateta is going to play here, but the rest of the team is going to stand as it stood against Arsenal with Guaita, Nathan Klein. Remember, Nathan Klein was at Liverpool. He's going to play as a right fullback. Then these are the central midfield. These are the central defenders I was talking about, that in between them, they exchanged 61 passes. So these are the ones we have been talking through. Then Michel is really a good left back. We are having Doucouré and Scalp in the down midfield pivot. Then Jordan Ayew as a right attacking forward. Eze, central attacking midfielder. Then Wilfried Zaha, obviously a left attacking midfielder. And then I really believe that Mateta is going to lead the line today against Liverpool. And when you see Mateta, Liverpool fans have really to worry about Mateta because Virgil van Dijk was exposed for the very first time by Mitrovic. So Mateta comes in with energy, and I really believe that this is where they're going to miss in Konate, because Konate has the energy and the pace. So can Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk contain Mateta? Because Mateta is really huge, tall, his physicality is way up there, he's fast and has a lot of energy. So we wait and see how that is going to go in there for you as Crystal Palace really takes on a side which goes by names of Liverpool today. So guys, feel free to go into the comment section, tell me what you think about this game. That is my predicted lineup against Liverpool, a 4-3-3 system, and we expect players like Thiago Alcantara, Joe Matip, Konate, Curtis Jones. All those are injured. Don't expect them to be into this game of football in here for you. So your predictions are welcome. I predict Liverpool to win this by 3-1. Obviously, their record is good, but you never know. A shocker can come in from the Patrick Vieira side, because we've seen that Patrick Vieira, whenever he's playing these big teams, he really puts in the effort. He puts in a shift. You get? And no team was going to to humiliate him. So I've not seen him get a humiliating defeat. Remember last season, he beat Man City at Etihad and drew with them at his stadium, that is Selhurst Park. So don't undermine this manager, because he's good. He's one of those managers that are really good and knows how to play against big teams. And remember, he's really having a very poor fixture. Remember, he started with Arsenal. Now he's playing Liverpool. After playing Liverpool, he's going to play Aston Villa. You get? So it doesn't look good for him, because his fixture is really tightened up in the free. After Aston Villa, he will play Man City. So it looks like in his first 4 fixtures, he's having 3 big teams. So we pray for him to see to it that he really gets him to the level. Because to me, I'm African. Whenever I say an African coach really thriving in the Premier League, I really have to hail him, because we need more African coaches or managers into the Premier League. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace is the game that is closing match day 2 today. And remember, after the game, we'll be here doing the reaction. Maybe we'll come in and do some team news. Afterwards, we'll do the needful and really bring you the match reaction and highlights. But remember, this is Rokani Media Football. We are on a journey of 10,000 subscribers this month, and endeavor to go into the lower right bottom corner. Smash the subscription button. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified each and every time I upload a video onto this channel. May the Almighty God protect you abundantly. I cover you all in the blood of Jesus Christ. I sign out for now. See you later. I think in the next 1 hour, we are coming back with some transfer news from Arsenal that most of you are excited about. I'm out.